Hi, this is immigration attorney Meg Moss, and this is a message to my clients, particularly my clients from Africa, who are extremely worried about being deported to Uganda, of all places. You may have heard that in the past couple of weeks, DHS has been filing something called a motion to pre-termit a case and order someone deported to Uganda. And basically, this is an attempt to apply some twisted interpretation of an agreement that the U.S. has between itself, U.S. and Uganda, to receive people interested in applying for asylum there instead of here. So basically, what happens is, if successful and a case is pre-terminated, it's just closed, it's just done, and the person can be ordered removed to Uganda. That doesn't mean that the next day they're shipped off to Uganda. It means that they would then have an opportunity to appeal that decision, and certainly you would want to do that if you want to stay here, at least while the case is being heard. And this particular strategy by DHS goes through what will undoubtedly be a legal process to see if it's constitutional and if it's going to hold up. So in the meantime, if you have an individual hearing coming up, and that's your big hearing where they actually hear your case, what happens is a few days before, or maybe on the day of, DHS files this motion to pre-term it, asking the judge to throw your case out and order you deported to Uganda. Generally speaking, a proper response would be to ask for more time to address this motion, and then an opposition brief should be filed by an attorney to oppose the request to the judge, and also get on the record all of your arguments for why that should not apply to you. And that's super important if you're planning to appeal. So that would usually be the course of action. And I want you to understand that every case is different. Okay, so each case may have a different strategy. Do not compare your case to other cases. You need to talk to me if I'm your lawyer, or if you have a different immigration lawyer, make sure you talk to them, because every case is different. It's not a cookie cutter approach. What happens for one person or what might make sense for another person might not make sense for you. So please, please talk to your attorney, okay, about what makes sense for you. So generally speaking, if DHS files this type of motion to pre-term it, an extension or a continuance to address what they're asking for would be appropriate. And then also for your attorney to, file this opposition brief that then really details exactly why it shouldn't apply to you. Now, if a judge determines that it does apply to you and you are not allowed to present your asylum case and you're ordered deported, then an appeal or a motion to reconsider might be appropriate. And these are some legal strategies that your attorney can explain in more detail if that happens to you. Okay, so there is definitely a lot going on. People are extremely worried and stressed about this. But I want you to understand that if this happens to you, it doesn't mean that your case is over. Okay, there are strategies to fight this, and that's exactly what we're doing. And it's also a very fluid situation. I'm part of a group of immigration attorneys that, communicate literally every day about what we're seeing in court, what the judges are doing, because different judges react in different ways to this also. So that's important to factor into your strategy. And then, we don't know if this will be challenged in federal courts, if there'll be a class action lawsuit. I mean, there's lots of things that could happen. So attorneys are tracking this and making sure that you have the most up-to-date information as it applies to your case. So I want you to take a deep breath. If this happens to you, call me or we'll talk. We're going to make sure that you have the right strategy based on your particular situation. And we're going to move forward and do everything we can to protect your interests and make sure that, if possible, your case moves forward and you get the immigration benefit that you're seeking. Okay, that's my job and that's what I'm here to do. So I've got your back. And finally, please, for the love of God, do not listen to what you're seeing on social media. Just stay away from social media in general. Okay, there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of videos being made that are just intended to target people who are very stressed and worried and make them click. Okay, they're just trying to put clickbait out there to get you to listen to what they have to say. And a lot of times it's not accurate, or maybe it doesn't apply to your case and it's just going to stress you out and make you panic. So please, if you're worried, if you're stressed, please call me. I'd be happy to explain how these things apply to your case in particular and make sure that you understand what's going on. Okay. So as always, I look forward to hearing from you, and we'll be in touch soon if you're my client. And definitely stay on top of this because it is changing very quickly. Okay. And I'll post more updates as events change. Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.